morning. Gonna start in about 10 minutes. Everything up and running. Good morning, good morning. Get going a little bit. Get everybody in here. We'll get going in about 5 minutes. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be doing live analysis to possibly help your trading, hopefully. Maybe learn some things. Maybe have more fun than trading alone. Just going to give a little more time for people to get in here before I start my analysis. No rush. 19 minutes into London session here.
I still read the letters you wrote to me now and then. You're convinced I'm responsible, sorry to offend. Can you pardon me for I've sinned? I'll remain this way till the end. Suffering in this pit I have chosen to call my home. She's not like you, you were the maker of dreams untold.
Got a big old fib now. This pillow here. Good morning, good morning. Please arrest the devil of shame living in my mind. Only you have the flare of service, you're so divine. Still waiting for some people to get in here. Move your butt. Good morning, good morning. If you're in here, say good morning. I'm just going to go start doing some basic analysis here. I got different view counts. Depending on where I look, my view count is different. I don't know. What's up? Chat works. Oh, right. So where are we at? Let's get going. Where is everybody today? Thursday. Just looking at the daily chart because we've come down so low. So I'm checking out what might be back there as far as fib zone. And we're just hitting some of these. This is sort of a random spot to draw one here, but it is clearly the swing point before the up move there. Be aware of these things and see how price is reacting in there. If I can draw it right. Good enough. Make sure I save these so I don't have to redraw these bigger daily levels. Support to resistance here now. See what support it might find in this area, if it's going to find any at all, and we'll get in there and see how it's reacting. Yes, yes. I didn't check news yet. We will check the news for the day. Broke through that support late in the day yesterday. What a sell-off there we had yesterday. Hopefully you went short something, right? I did. A couple of things. But I didn't check the news, so let me check the news for today. $16 playbacks. What's up? So say hi in the chat, guys. I know a bunch of people are not here that wanted to be here. I don't know why. Hopefully the stream's going okay there. I'm checking news for today. Thursday, September 30th. Today, news-wise, we got a 10 a.m. New York time. That's in 6.5 hours from now. Is the high-impact news of the day. Fed Chair Powell speaks, so that's testifies. So that is high-impact U.S. There's also unemployment claims. GDP quarter to quarter, so, and that's at 8:30 New York time in 5 hours. And that's listed as medium impact. But we got that stuff happening news-wise for the dollar at the U.S. session. Before then, it's all light stuff. Some light stuff for the euro over the next couple hours here and there. So the euro might be a little active off of that news. Got something in 20 minutes, and then in 5 minutes after that, then an hour after that. All light stuff for the euro, so we'll be dealing with that. But the high impact stuff, medium impact stuff, U.S. session. I did trade yesterday. I didn't stream, though. So where are we? Obviously, let's back out to the 1 hour. For the dollar pairs, first of all, you see our down moves that are very strong, high momentum, strong momentum. Let me get rid of this stuff. And I just want to mark some obvious levels, support to resistance here. Fib of the last leg down. But obviously the trend structure is down off the last couple of days. And No reason to be going against that. No large strength coming in, high volume demand of any kind. Oops. So we're staying with that direction. Simply put, if you see an obvious trend, structure is there. In this case, very strong momentum too yesterday. US dollar strength. When we end off the day like this, down at the low, we're not seeing any accumulation. They're holding on to a lot of these short positions throughout yesterday, the day before. And that's the direction I'm staying. Unless there's some sort of counter trend scalp or something. But generally, I'm staying with that direction. And if we're moving up now, sort of, some of them, maybe. But if we're moving up, let me just mark this support, turn resistance. Okay. Just some supports there. This is the projection here. If we can move up to this area, we will see if we get the proper reaction to expect this. If so, we'll take the trade. Of course, would like to see weakness in this area. So this would be sort of the textbook situation here, and do another leg down off of this area. We get a little higher and see weakness. Now the other ones have not pulled back that far, but that's one good option for today. Looking to sell in this area. London open volume here. Now we're 20 minutes in. We're staying high volume. But let's see if we can see some new high ground, and of course into this area, and see how it reacts. If we hit selling and the lack of demand, we're likely doing that leg down, or at least back to the low, perhaps. So that's if we move up generally. I'm looking for weakness to get in short. See the old support broken there. And we're just ranging for today. And our volume hit at London Open. We're still in this range. Let's see what it wants to do. If it wants to go a bit higher or a bit lower, then I'll have something to work off. Like I say, the pre-London and into London Open, whatever range you have set so far for the day, which is very often sideways. Sometimes you get trending moves. But again, today sideways here. As we get into London Open and just starting off, I like to get out of this area for anything trustworthy. You know, taking a trade here in the weeds, not a very predictable outcome. But if we see up here, if it's a real breakout or not, if we can try to test this high or get out of this range, to have much better predictions. If it tries to break out, new high for the day, see how it reacts, if it looks like a real breakout or not, and take it from there. If we can get above here without any weakness, we may be going higher. Now the background is generally weak, and looking for weakness and looking to short on up moves doesn't mean I can't go long in a scalp sort of entry. We could pop up here and see a ton of weakness and then expect it to continue down from there. So yeah, best to get out of this little range. Certainly help on the predictions. We look at the pound. That's that big old fib. Yesterday's low. The high so far today. If this candle closes down, it could make another run for that low. I'll try to go lower. Having that candle reaction off of this area. See if we can get a sense. Again, we're sort of in the middle of the range for the day and just starting off London, so not my favorite place to try to predict. But if this candle closes down here, yeah, it might be making another run for that low. 1 second. All right. Yeah, it closed down. It might be making this run for this low here. That's not a bad short-term prediction for the moment. The volume's high. It's all over the place because of the London Open, so it's not very helpful. But just in this candle pattern right in here, after such a drop to react that way off the 14. Generally, are we seeing that the dollar pairs want to move down? No, we may have weaker pound. But anyway, bearish environment. I would not be looking to buy. If we see things change where we do break out of the range of the day so far to the upside and we're not seeing weakness, okay, then it's not out of the question. It might go higher before it hits selling and supply. And not crazy to be going along, but especially those higher prices, if that comes in, or even sooner, get a good weakness situation, then I'd be looking to go short with the background. How high are we on this volume? It all looks just kind of high today since we started. There's not much variation. Yeah, we're finally coming down a bit from the London spike. And the yens are likely the same if the yen is also strong as well as the US dollar, pushing this down, unless something's different. Yes, quite different. A bit. Depends. Okay. Well, the yen is not as strong as the US dollar. Compare, obviously, here you have the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, and you see how weak it is compared to the US dollar. Comparing Australian dollar to the yen, not such an extreme down move. Here as well, kind of going flat. Let's check the euro dollar, and you see the difference. This, it was yesterday really is what we're talking about. That really strong US dollar may or may not continue today. Okay. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing? In this situation, again, we do have the lower low, lower high structure. That's kind of breaking 618. We'll see what's going on there. Just drawing it from the last swing. So we could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave down, especially off of here if we get rejected on weakness. If you look at the volume, yesterday had a bit of activity off the low. There was some buying into these down moves. Let me just compare US dollar. Yeah, see, the difference is, if you look at the US dollar versus, let's say, Australia, versus compared to yen versus Australia. The high activity yesterday led to lower prices as a result and got accepted. If you look at the AJ now, same pair but versus the yen, we actually created a support off of that high volume and did not, we saw more buying and price rejection here, which just really goes to show how weak the US dollar pairs were. Strong US dollar. But the yen, again, it's making lower lows, lower highs, but we have a bit of buy. Let's see the 5-minute down here will also be helpful. How much buying is really coming in down there. So we saw that on the 1 hour, fairly high volume. Yeah, it is really focused off the low. Yeah. So you see the sell-off yesterday. It wasn't on some high volume, insane, sort of panicky or crazy sell-off. Here it picked up a bit, but then when the real volume came in, at high activity for the day, it stopped the down move and gave a bounce. And whoever was selling here, right, it got bought into. And we do have some long positions from this point, and demand overcame selling. So if we go back to the 1 hour chart, that was here. So it's not as bearish as it looks, right? I'd have to be convinced to be going short. I could see going either way. I could see pulling back and seeing even more strength again. And we're starting to call it accumulation, right? Lack of supply. So although we have this lower low, lower high, and fairly obvious structure of a downtrend from this point, there's a bit of excessive buying in there. So it's not quite as bearish as it looks. It's not quite as bearish as, of course, the pairs versus the dollar. This guy just is dropping here. Okay. Like I said, at this candle when it closed, that it's likely going down. I did put something on it. I might just move my stop to break even and see if I can let it run as a scalp. Where's my break even from price right now? 7 pips. Morning, good morning. And again, if we look at the 5 minute, we saw yesterday. Today we did see some high volume leading to higher price. Of course, that's the London open spike. And some weakness here, a bit mixed. Okay. So that's the thing about is it all the yen pairs? And is that yen driven situation? Talking about it's not as bearish as the US dollar pairs, right? Or is it more that the Australian dollar really saw that? Yeah, if we look at the pound yen, if we look at the pound yen, yeah, okay. So we could say everything's bearish, but the US dollar pairs are even more bearish in their background. And also that the Australian dollar has seen a bit of strength. And so if you go like AJ, I wouldn't really want to be aggressively buying that. I mean, selling that. Even though we're generally bearish. But the Australian dollar is a bit on the stronger side. And selling against the US dollar, at least according to the background, we'll see how things start to develop today. Selling against the US dollar might be the better choice. But again, if we can get out of the range here for today, that would be helpful. If we really can't, then, like, what are you missing? Let's see if we can get above here in the reaction. So that's where we are. This on the 5 minute is a bit jumbled up here. Let's let that work itself out. If it's coming down off of weakness, then the projection becomes obviously that it's going to try to do that. Let's see how that plays out. Started off with a lot of activity today. Now it's finally chilling out. Okay. But you do see potentially the weakness, double top fake break here. Again, that's London open volume. So, but this pops out and does have that fake break pattern. If that high holds and comes down and shows lack of demand into this area, right, then we could be continuing down, playing this out. But so far I have a GU short on right now with a very tight stop. If it runs up to my break even, I might just close it. Because this is really, you know, it's a little hairy in here. I like getting out of the range that we've set before. Like I say, that we set before London Open and getting out of the range. In this case, it's a pretty big range, though. Might be waiting a while, but still, it would be better. It just helps with prediction. Like it says, there's enough volatility for you to start actually trending somewhere. Some new prices for the day. All right, so I'm hanging out. I'll give updates as things develop. Music will do. Oh, okay. My mic was muted. I see your question, but give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back. So, question is, what's up? Thoughts on Ethereum USDT? Well, I don't trade that. I don't know how different the chart's going to be versus just US dollar. But generally on the cryptos where I am right now is my swing positions. I have built up when I want to build up from this recent accumulation area. I actually did sell off a little bit today because I did add. If you look generally, I don't know. All I could tell you is what I've been doing. This large fib area that I had marked in advance, right? And you see the strength. And so I bought, and I bought some more, and I bought some more, and now I took some of that off. It was getting kind of big, and I wanted the profit. Call it a day trade. But generally, I'm still bullish. But right now, it's like my thoughts are, if this is going to range sideways for another month, who knows? I do want to be making something off of it and looking to buy low and sell high, and just generally in this range. But I'm never selling all of it off. So if it does break out and move up, of course, I'll try to ride that out and see what's going on. But for now, the range, generally things are rangy. It's like, I guess I'm not going to get into fundamentals, but the chart says there is buying at these lower prices. There is accumulation, but there is no real will to mark up. As far as going lower, it would really have to break through some high volume demand points and probably would see a ton of buying to pop it back up again. Like this sort of thing would happen likely if it went lower, which again is a buy opportunity. Once these things settle, I buy at these points, not as it's falling, but as soon as it convinces me, especially with the high volume strength. So that's likely to happen still on down moves, right? So I'm playing the range and just going to make whatever I make off of that. If it's going to be doing that for a while, I'm not just sitting on swing positions doing nothing. If it does, like I say, if it comes down and you're not seeing this sort of strength, that's kind of a warning sign. This didn't get very low here, so I'm not too worried about that. Really into these lower areas. That's what I'm doing. That's what I could tell you. Playing the range, but also holding some for longer term. I don't see any scary signs of bearishness or, buyers not showing up where they're supposed to. They definitely are. Sellers showing up in excessive amounts. I don't see that. Again, here we're seeing higher prices than we've seen in a couple of days on Bitcoin. And volumes decreasing. We're not rejecting, seeing weakness, selling. Right, and that was a pretty strong up move. And typically you throw price up there, you're going to get some high volume. You throw price up there quickly, you get some high volume, right? Here we moved up quickly and we're just accepting it. So that says we're likely going to be able to go higher soon. But I did close some off again, as I was saying, just because of the range situation. And if I'm buying down here and selling some off up here, withdraw the money to my account, to my bank account, and keep doing it while I wait for, you know, a real up move or to buy lower or whatever. Cool. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I was thinking about it the last couple of days. I'm like, man, if this thing's going to range, when I'm sitting here waiting for the big payoff, I'm just going to start doing that. I'm going to start selling some off at the tops. Take the profit out, take some of the profit out of the account. Just keep working it. So yeah. And that generally covers the cryptos. The idea that, yeah, they may be moving sideways, down a little, up a little, but generally they look pretty strong. I don't see any big warning signs. So today we have a bearish environment against the US dollar, against the yen, particularly against the US dollar, but both. AJ's seen a little too much buying, perhaps, but we're generally bearish. We can get a little higher. Get out of the range we've seen for today, pre-London. That'll make things a lot easier on making predictions. We can come up through here, not see weakness. Say, okay, it's likely a real breakout. It's going higher, even though we have a bearish background. Right? Or we can see maybe high volume weakness and expect the background to start playing out with the down moves. So if we could get that, it would be nice. Some new prices for the day. As far as immediate moves, well, this probability was decent. It didn't happen. I got out of that trade at break even. Nothing else I would really mess with right now. Again, is this going to bounce or break? Like, it's just an obvious question right now with these things. Here, coming off of that high on decreased volume, that's saying not much activity. It might actually break through on another attempt here. You see the 1 minute in detail up there because it's about price areas, not time frames. Here is the 1 minute detail of the test of this high. Once here, no high volume. Again here, no high volume. We spent a few minutes up there on low volume, medium volume. That's not saying that sellers are all over this on a resistance level. Not saying the sellers are really on that. With a bearish background, it would be nice to see weakness here. But didn't bring that much activity. Yen looking, I'm saying the yen is a bit on the strong side. If you look at not as strong as the US dollar, which of course translates into weak yen pairs here. But for example, in this bearish structure here, downtrend the last couple of days, a lot of activity off of this low showed buying. I'm looking for selling to come in. If it wants to continue down, I'm not seeing much. So yeah, in that case, you have a weak yen to some extent. But generally, the trends are down and hanging out at the low prices. And a lot of them did not show so much strength in a way that really represents things off of the low prices. Pound yen. Let's see that. That was a decent amount of volume. Let's put the 5 minute. Yeah, okay. Like very bearish structure and everything, but we did see certainly demand off of this area. So it could be a situation where if we go revisit those lows, I would be looking to buy. If we get up high and see enough weakness, I'm not against selling though. So it's kind of like that. See what happens. A little more clear on the dollar pair is the bearishness. Yeah. Like I said on the show, the 1 minute chart, not much selling here. Likely to break to the upside very soon. Let's see what goes on up there. And we're starting off the session with a bit of a weak dollar, moving up against the US dollar. Short term, at least. Yeah, I mean, at this point, any sort of selling on these US dollar pairs, no. This breaking out, we'll see how this behaves. Finally, some new price for the session. But so far, it looked like it was going to break. Let's see now the 1 minute here. Still not seeing much volume at all. Looks like a real breakout. See if we can maintain the new high price here. 1 minute chart. That breakout is not something I would quite bet on yet. Coming back into range that quickly. Yeah, they want to break out, don't they? Some selling. It's like it's just figuring out that it's doing this up move now, and I don't see much in the way of stopping it. Let's see if that breaks out where it may be going. Or you got to draw a fib on this thing. Whatever. As far as some earlier levels, obviously you can draw a big fib here, but sooner than that, lower than that. Let's see. Well, this one couldn't close outside the range. See what this guy does. Does it want to break? Well, volume dropping off again in this high price area suggests yes. Right now, I'd say there's a 65% chance it's going to break out to the upside here. Just because of that volume decreasing here. Background is bearish, though. There is some money short. So let's see. Yeah, and this guy you had above the high of the session, right? Yeah. Sitting there and not coming back below really on that low volume. So, you know, are there large trades coming in playing this range, selling off of this high? No. Activity actually decreased. We don't get any quick price rejection. So just look at the 1 minute to understand these things, right? When you test levels and see what you get. You know, the opposite of that would be if volume popped up high here, you got squashed down. But it's kind of just sitting here too. It's like, I don't know if they actually want to mark this up. But there's not much selling here. Maybe it's just quiet. This actually failed the breakout now. It was just sort of a non-event if they don't want to take it up. So again, at this point, at least we're testing some of these levels that could give us an answer. If we break to the upside without supply, we're likely moving up. If we reject this, especially if volume's high on an attempt to move out and rejects, then we're likely moving down. That's for the short-term prediction here. Again, here. Seems like sort of just a non-event. Just going sideways on medium volume. Yeah, we do have this projection, but would it be nice to see weakness? We had that. This projection. Then it got kind of quiet, but I get convinced we got this, perhaps another leg down where we saw some buying. That's what it is right now. Being stuck in the middle of this range, like I've been saying, not the best place to try to predict, right in the middle of a range. Been going on a long time. At least some of these were trying to break out, but the market just went to sleep. Good morning, good morning. Again, I don't see anything great as far as any high probability predictions at this point. Yen pair's got to get out of that range. Dollar pairs, Euro dollar, Australia dollar, US. Tested the high of the recent range and just kind of flopped around. That did not break out. This did not break out. So they failed to break out on kind of dying activity at this point. This was a high that was set, almost 2 hours ago. Pre-open. So we still can't get out. Be nice to go somewhere. It would just help. Middle of ranges are, in my opinion, the least predictable things. Sometimes you'll get suddenly a clear structure in the middle of the range where it is saying something, but generally, if you're kind of structurally sloppy all over the place, higher high, lower high, higher low, all choppy, and in the middle of the price area, it's very hard to predict. I don't think there's such a good probability.
Have not found my chosen path. You see, it isn't tricky like math. I put all my faith into God's hands. One day I'll find my promised land. Just believe in life and then you can. One day, someday, you'll stumble on your path. Let out the pain because it stays in. You got nothing to gain. Let out the lies and schemes. They will bring unpleasant dreams. Let out the pain because it stays in. It's gonna drive you insane. Let out the lies and schemes. They will bring unpleasant dreams. Eventually, we all see the realization of this wondrous world and life, and all the real complications. There are some we can't escape. It feels like a never-ending chase. Whatever you want, it is what you make it. Just for 1 minute, would you open your eyes and see your potential? Just for 1 minute, not shield to conceal your identity. You are beautiful, just like an exotic animal. I'm gonna open your eyes, oh, yeah, yeah. Let out the pain because it's let it down. You got nothing to gain. Let it out now. Lies and schemes, come on, heartbreak, hey. Let out the pain because it stays in. It's gonna drive you insane, you know. You got nothing to let out the pain because it stays in. It's gonna drive you you ain't got nothing to gain.
All right, so I'm just kind of hanging. Wait for things to happen. May not be the most constant education coming at you and analysis, but I'm here. I'm being patient, doing my thing. It's early.
Unpleasant dreams.
Yeah, again, just checking in. Nothing high probability is popping out right now. Pretty much a bearish environment with US dollar strength. Yens saw some strength off the bottom. See how it goes. But again, it's at the very moment, near future, hard to. There's no high probability thing happening here. This looked like it was going to break out. It's just hanging out. Again, middle of the range stuff. Structures all over the place. This I actually put a trade on here and then closed it when it popped back up, thinking this was okay. We're playing out the background. We're going to go from here at least to lower prices. We got stuck in the middle now. This is not a short I would want to take at this point right now. Everything's kind of iffy. So, being patient, see how things develop. I'm here just hanging out. I got a little position on something. But nothing big, and really just waiting for, again, if euro dollar, Australian dollar could break out or do something. Somebody's get out of the middle of the range that they set for the day so far. Mainly bearish backgrounds. Kind of just getting stuck on the dollar pairs. And these guys, yeah, again, I hate the middle of ranges. Did I mention that? I mean, if you look at the tops and the bottoms and compare it to the middle, you'll understand why, right? Look at if you sold, okay, good. If you bought, yeah, that's fine. If you get into any trades in the middle, what are you dealing with here? Look at all this. Again, sometimes it can clean up. But if you're just going to sit there sideways on medium volume, low volume, this was market open volume. So really, since London open, it's this. Yeah, since London open. Well, we had the pop up, and then again stuck for an hour. It looked like a decent start, and then we just kind of got stuck. Again, I can't make any high probability short-term predictions at this point. I don't think there is one. All right, so I mean, looking at the dollar pairs, maybe this background, bearish background, wants to play out here. It's kind of still coming off of nothing. London open pop and activity, and then just not much going on. So it's kind of hard to say, is this it, the down move that we're expecting today because of the background? You know, could easily go higher, look for weakness, and take our time with it. Like, what's triggering that this would be it right now? You know, nothing really. That's the thing. Again, this is like London open volume. I guess you have some weakness back here. This wasn't really that great. But the lower volume into lower prices, at least, if that's going to come around, suggests we're going to get to the bottom of the range if we're going to move down on the low volume here. But let's go somewhere for the day. Now we're dead center of the range again, $1. Did I mention I don't like the middle of ranges? Testing, I'd like to see some testing of better levels. Testing for demand, yeah, a bit. But not the greatest supply beforehand. Yeah, some of them I had a bit. It's like, is this the background playing out for real? A down move now? Yeah. Kind of quiet. I don't know. It's like slow chaos. That's what this is. Chaotic at a slow speed. And in the end, really doing nothing for the day yet. Plenty of time. Just very uneventful. Very uneventful. Charts just saying, whatever. Little of this, little of that. Little buying, little selling, whatever. No clear preposition, no clear information. They're just not doing that. Then we get a little activity showing up here. Like, what is that even going to do? See the reaction? No urgency. Is this going back to the bottom of the range? Maybe not. Maybe it'll sit in the middle. All right. Well, maybe I'll end the session and I could always come back US or come back tomorrow. Market's just waiting for whatever. Stuck in range, choppy. You know, so many of the candles, if you just look at them, are in the range of the previous candle. You know, I mean, to put it another way, for so long now. It's not going anywhere. We finally do go somewhere, and then again, we're going to just sit in here now. Not in a great place, and just too slow. So, we'll likely pick up later. U.S. session, you got the high impact news. Again, if there was any sort of high probability thing and I was in it, I would be patient and whatever. But you know, if we could move up and see weakness, move somewhere. Again, getting out of this range that we've been in so far. Got to London and we can't get out. So yeah, I'll call it for now. That's how it goes, right? Whatever the chart says, I'll do. Right now, it's not telling me to do anything. But yeah, high impact news, U.S. session. Things are likely to get going. I'll check back, see what's up. All right, guys. See you soon.